What up, Pittsburgh Steel fans? Matty P, Marky D, touchdown on the boys. Here we go. Well, breaking news, mate. Steelers cut Cole. Finally, it's happening.
Yes, I'm not too surprised, to be honest. Like I look around Twitter, people are like, oh, it's wow, oh my goodness. Like, well, you wanted it to happen. You knew it was kind of going to happen, and it happened today. So I don't know how they choose the days though. What's their Friday, right? So Friday afternoon,
Yeah.
Cole's Cole's feeling good all week, and then today he's like cut. So I don't know, but he was likely going to be cut because they need a new center. I give him respect. I wish him well, but maybe he can go throw balls to the dirt in somewhere else. Honestly, like they were pretty bad. Like he was doing an okay job, but some of the times those footballs getting snapped, which is your job to snap to the center in shotgun, or going right to the dirt or really, really high in the air.
Well, someone will pick him up, right?
Oh yeah, he's a football player. Of course
someone's gonna someone picked up Kendrick Green, right?
Yeah, I know.
So the blokes they're like he's gonna get picked up. I was just pulling up over the cap while you were talking, because I think with the cut, I think the Steelers eat I think it's $2.25 million off the top of my head, but I'm just going to check it now for everyone. They don't have the cut. Mason Cole. Sometimes they put the cut up quickly, and other times they don't.
You know what's funny
Cole,
too?
Yeah.
Some of the fans out there will be saying like all this year straight away, well, the Steelers haven't done anything this year. There's no change. They literally have changed 5 coaches. They've cut 4 players that you want them to be cut. And they'll still be like, oh, we need change in the organization. It's like there is change in the organization. It's happening now. It's been happening last year as well. You and I talked about a lot since we first started doing podcasts on BTSC that the O-line has been like a shambles. Now they're rebuilding it. It looks awesome. Jones, Ciamalo. They'll probably get a better center maybe in the draft. We can talk about that. They got Daniels on the other side. Chooks went, see you later, good night. He did his innings for 6 years. Thank you, Chooks, but goodbye. They're getting better, right? And they talk about, oh, there's no change and Tomlin needs this and Tomlin's, tree and whatnot. There has been change. You're just not noticing the little changes. Like they hired 4 coaches and also Arthur Smith, ex-head coach, OC. It's a lot of change to me.
I kind of find when you say coaching tree there too, I kind of find that criticism a bit funny about the coaching tree. Because if you hate Mike Tomlin, then why do you want people to take over that have Mike Tomlin traits? Do you know what I mean? It's the biggest contradiction. It cracks me up every time, and I never really get to talk about it. So I just want to say,
okay. So you don't like Mike Tomlin, but you also want a coaching tree. Therefore, you want more guys in the NFL with Mike Tomlin.
Yes.
So you want more guys not throwing time, doing bad timeouts or bad challenges. You know what I mean? Or going for field goals that are 55 yards out, stuff like that.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I understand that. Where the idea of the coaching tree even come from? That sounds like something that was made up in the last 3 or 4 or 5 years. What is that? Do you need that? Do you need to be a good coach to have that? Or can you just be a standalone, I'm a good coach?
I think it's an easy way. I think it's an easy way for people to talk about connections and network. And that's important. In every sport, there's but see, that's the thing. In a lot of sports other than the NFL, you talk about philosophies in how you do things, right? So it's kind of the extension of that in that coaches working in that way. But if you're a coach that's it takes some of these NFL coaches 20 years of coaching before they become a head coach, right? If not more. So why, you're gonna be an understudy, or you're gonna work for very, very different bosses. You and I have worked for multiple companies each. We don't sit there and say we're under this manager's coaching tree, under this manager's employee tree. What the heck? No, you take little bits from everyone and you do it best. Yes, you can say people have different similar schemes and philosophies, but this is my one. It's anyway, I just think it's
one of my bosses fired me because I left cheese out, and then I took him to the cleaners. It was great. I got him for the 10-year pay. You know what I'm saying? He tried to get rid of me, so I never F with Marky D down in Australia. Got him real good. I left cheese out, and then he sent me a text saying you've been fired 4 days before Christmas. I was like, you can't do that. My 10 years is coming up, and then 2 months later, I took him for $9,000. It was great.
So the Steelers eat. I feel like we're going down the pizza podcast route again, right?
Yeah, let's do it. That's why I work.
We'll get there. We will get there. Actually, we will get there. But yeah, the Steelers ate $1.5 million dead cap money hit there with the move on from Cole. But we shouldn't see where he goes. I still feel like he could go back to Minnesota.
But 27 years of age, you get a job somewhere. He'll play. He's a football player. He'll get a job somewhere.
Yeah,
it just works out that the new guys coming in, new coaches maybe don't click with him, and there's a bit of a changeover. It's not even a bad move. It's probably a good move for Cole too.
It probably is a good. I don't disagree with you. I think that's probably.
You know what's going to happen though? What I really, really hate. Come down September, October, Cole will be going playing amazing, great guns with like the Commanders or the Jets, and then we'll see like, oh my god, it should have kept Cole. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing with Dotson. They're all raving about Dotson, how we should have kept Dotson because he's a superstar player right now. People change and players get better. Just because they leave us doesn't mean their career is stagnant. Do you ever hear that narrative too?
Yeah,
where, like they should have kept him otherwise, But you never hear stuff about like, I know Edmonds wants to come back now, or not wants to, but like people want him back. Yeah, but you never hear the bad players getting talked about. It's only the only players that are playing good where the narrative is like, well, this player should have stayed because of this reason. Well, players aren't going to sit stagnant, are they?
Well, the funny one's Steven Nelson. Steven Nelson wanted more money from the Steelers and they never made the money that the Steelers offered him. Same with the Lav Bell. Like, we have all the situation. Like, so I think it's kind of funny. Like, look at Chase Claypool. Like, I was listening to Locked On the other day, Locked On Draft Dudes, basically. The draft dudes with Locked On now have been for about a year now. Like, and their guy, one of the guys that does it, Kyle Krabs, he does Locked On for Miami. And he literally is like, can we just run Chase Claypool out of the league? Like, what is this dude?
He said that. Love that.
He's like, I'm done. Right. He's like, everyone's done. No one wants him in the league. And he's like, he said before, it's like, can we just trust Mike Tomlin? He's like, Mike Tomlin's experienced coach. Mike Tomlin didn't want him. Even Chicago didn't want him. Why did Miami want him?
Well, I guess he's the player's coach, right? So the dead set is yeah. Well, I don't know. We talk about Claypool a million times. But it's even like Juju, ex-Steeler Juju, right? And he hasn't done much in the Patriots. He won a championship with the Chiefs.
Funny you bring him up. I was thinking about this, and I almost brought it up when Shannon and I were talking yesterday in content that's coming out later on the weekend. I kind of want Juju back. Imagine Juju with Pickens. You get Juju in the slot. You get Pickens.
Hang on.
Another outside wide receiver.
Wasn't there links that Arthur Smith wants like physical receivers on the outside as well?
Yeah.
Is that a possibility where he would come back where the bridge not been burnt though? Like I think the fans want him back.
The bridge was burnt though. I don't think the bridge was burnt. I think people like would we rather Juju, and I think he wouldn't do the amount of TikToking on. I don't think TikTok on logos anymore. He'd stop that anyway.
He's grown up
Juju,
now.
Who comes back from the shoulder injury, then Deontay who complains, right? And even though we're still all on Pickens, like I'm a fan of Pickens, like it is a little bit touch and go sometimes with him. Like I just think Juju, like I wouldn't hate it, is what I'm saying. I'm not saying they need to go back and do it straight away, but like,
what does that mean? My bride would be pie in the sky if Juju came back. What does that mean?
I think that's like two analogies together.
Explain
that one to a Steelaway show.
Is that like you're giving your bride an uppercut? Not that I endorse that. But what is that? My bride would be pie in the sky.
Pie in the sky. But back to the center. Back to center. In terms of Cushery, Brewer, Williams, I'm a big fan of Connor Williams. Obviously, he was a Texas Longhorns. So
happy.
That. I get you. Yeah, mine too. Because my wife we're going to go to a game this year, and my wife said to me the other day, she goes, "I got my Juju jersey, my 19." She goes, "Can I wear that?" I'm like, yeah, of course you can freaking wear that. Like,
yeah, no one's gonna like really bag you out. Just don't wear an Antonio Brown. We
don't own any of them in my household.
I do. I got one. I don't know what to do with it. I really don't know what to do. He doesn't know what to do with it. Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown tried suing himself the other day.
John Claypool. John Claypool. Player shirt.
Nah. If I was that keen on Claypool, I would have went down to Sydney to meet him, and that wasn't.
Do you know what I am gonna do though? I'm getting a patch made that's got like dead in front of it, like all jagged. And I'm gonna have a Deadpool, like a Steelers Deadpool jersey. Yeah, that's what I'm getting.
If his name was Deadpool, that'd be heaps cooler than Claypool. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he'd still need to be able to play football.
Yeah, it's true.
So you and I were talking quickly off air. We haven't had a chance to yeah, but my bush is only a player. It's only the player synthetic, so that's fair enough. Yeah,
he didn't work out either, did he? He didn't work out at all. No.
Nah.
And he got like one tackle last year where Bobby
Well,
Wagner was
the other jersey that if half the fans have their way is my KP8 one. So, like,
well,
we and I haven't done a show in about the best part of a month. So, like, your take on Mason, Kenny, and like, because you and I comment at each other and we talk about it. We're done with it. I put a 20-minute video out 2 days ago on exactly things that he's not the worst at, because I'm so sick of it. Like,
at this point, I really just want to play Wildcat. I just don't want to see any quarterback back there because I'm over it. Like, I'm seriously over. I want to see them run the Miami Dolphins Wildcat and just see what happens. You know what I mean? I want to see like Denver with 3 injured quarterbacks and play your receiver at quarterback. I don't care anymore. I'm literally over how fast and how soon we talked about the quarterback. When sometimes you'd be like, is Kenny the guy? You know, talk about that for about a month or so. Then we go into quarterback talk. Nope. It went into rumors. It went into Wilson, Jimmy G, Trey Lance, Kirk Cousins, Ryan Tannehill. They pretty much named every single
and no one, not the smartest option if you were replacing him, which would be Baker Mayfield.
Like, yeah, I made that rumor up. I'd actually, not that I made the one on the internet, but I made one of them with my real clickbaity title. So sorry, not sorry, but I was taking the piss out of it. I said Steelers are rumored to get Baker Mayfield.
Was that after I talked about it with Shannon, or did you know?
I don't know. Maybe I saw the ideas around like he would fit, so I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
Out of any rumor that could be true, go and get Baker. Right?
It makes the most sense.
He does. And it'll be fun to see him beat the Browns too as well. So, and then that kind of went, got a few views and whatnot. But all the other ones don't make any sense to me. You don't want to wait. Why would you want to waste your pick on Fields when Fields, they talk about
Fields is the fumble king, man. He's the turnover king.
60 turnovers, I've heard.
68 turnovers in 40 games. That's almost an average of 1.75. 1.75.
And what does Tomlin say about his quarterback?
Exactly the point.
No turnovers. What did Tomlin?
Kenny Pickett lowest interception percentage in the league apart from CJ Stroud.
But he hasn't got any TDs, mate.
1.2%, mate.
He hasn't got any TDs. It's a passing league now. What about that? He's only got 14 TDs, mate. Like, it's an absolute joke. At this point, listen to what the Steelers are saying. The Steelers are saying, we're going with Kenny and we're going to try and bring back Rudolph. Then I heard reports about Rudolph was, looking for a fresh start. He never said that.
That's an agent rumor, man. That's an agent rumor to get an extra $1 million. Like, come on, man.
He talked about on DK Sports with Ramon Foster about coming back as well and how he liked the city, loved the city, and we're going to work it out, right? He never said fresh start. There's been too many rumors out there. This channel right here, TDU, is not based on clickbait. My channel is not based on clickbait. It's the other ones out there. All Steelers Talk, Chat Sports, and some other ones out there that grab like little bits of information and blow it up into something huge. And it's just crap. It's overall crap. So I'm pretty much over it. Kenny will be the guy, and I hope they bring in some competent competition, and that's it for me.
Did you hear about this? I heard this. I completely agree with you on all of that. Like facts, right, with what you just said. But I heard this on Chris Carter yesterday. Some guy rang up and said, what about Wentz as a backup?
I'd be happy with that.
But my thing, I still sit there and say this, like, and I'd only want that if Mason Rudolph wasn't coming back. Mm-hmm. Just get Mason Rudolph, sign him again. You know what you've got. Try Kenny Pickett. Like, everyone out there, like, if you don't have Kenny Pickett as the starting like him and Mason fighting for starting quarterback, and that's what's slotted in, it's a waste of a draft pick right now. So and then you may as well cut Kenny, and you may as well make the big move. You may as well trade up in the draft. Like, none of this makes theoretical sense. You need only 2 people going for it in Mason and Kenny, and then you draft a guy in the mid rounds to the late rounds so that you've got cheap backup and someone you can develop that's not under any stress. Just sit in the offense and learn it for a year. Like, my guy is Michael Pratt out of Tulane. That's the guy I would like to see. That's just who I am, right?
Sorry, I've got one comment I want to make with Wentz. Yeah. If Wentz comes back, I hope he wins the Super Bowl, then we put a statue outside of Heinz Field. So then, therefore, he's got one outside of the Eagle Stadium and also one out of Heinz. That'd be unbelievable. Like, you'd be so trippy. You'd be like, I want to go see the Wentz statue. Like, which one? Is it in Philly or Pittsburgh?
When he left for the Commanders or was
it Nick Foles? No, it was.
Yeah, it was Nick Foles that won it. Nick Foles that won
Oh,
it.
he
It would be irony that if that happened with Wentz. Like that's why I
Wait,
like
who
it.
has the statue? Is it statue Nick Foles or Wentz?
Yes,
I can't
Foles.
remember.
It's Foles.
Oh, it's Foles. My bad.
No, but it's actually cooler because imagine if Wentz went to another team and then did like what Foles did to him. That would be kind of cool, right? That's why I thought it was funny.
That's true.
But
that's still like a rumor though. Of like,
but I've heard that Mike Tomlin didn't like him during the draft process. I've heard that Mike Tomlin was like, yeah, that's not the guy for it. Like that's not the guy.
You know, one funny thing about all this stuff, I saw like a picture of I think it was Mason Rudolph, like in the Alps, like just going skiing. Everyone's all stressing about quarterback and this kind of stuff. The players are legit on a holiday, having beers, having the best time of their life, like kicking up. You know what I mean? They might be going to Jamaica, the Bahamas, whatnot, wherever that is. If they're two different countries, I don't even know. But they're just chilling, right? And we're just like, oh my goodness, what's going to happen? We're so stressed out about, like I said, do we need to relax or trust the process? Both. Kind of both at this point in time.
That's right.
But
like let's all like we're all stressing about center and they have to cut Cole. They cut Cole. Like, we all happy now? We all hate Mitch Trubisky. Cut. The fans. Big press can't punt the football. Cut.
Done.
Like Allen Robinson will be next. Like, then it'll be, and that's probably going to be, and then I think they'll bring him back Patrick Peterson. So you cut him, bring him back cheap. Like the Steelers are doing what you ask them to do.
Yeah,
you hate him, Matt Canada. They replaced him with Arthur Smith. You said they don't hire any coaches. They've hired 5 coaches. They still managed to keep like Mike Sullivan and promote him. Like they're doing all the things everyone asks them to do, but it's never good enough. Like I heard
it when it was like, why do we have 2 quarterbacks coaches? Give it time. Like, give it time,
how many
mate.
people in the league have 2? The 49ers have 2 running back coaches.
Do they really?
They do.
Okay.
And they have 2 quality control assistants as well. So
that's high quality. What about this then? Because I'm
you feel like the quality's slipping. You're like, which one of you is responsible? Which one's you the high quality and which one of you is the more low quality?
What if one guy did a bad job? You'd blame the other bloke, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You know.
Sorry,
here's the question. I'm trying to basing my whole quarterback thing around in the off season. I've done it down to Kenny is in the building, quarterback number 1. Mason, I hope he gets signed to be 2. I do hope there's competition, a true competition.
No, there needs to be competition between those 2 guys.
And then you
bring
draft
2 guys that are familiar.
What are your 3 quarterbacks going into 2024? What are your 3? What do you think's going to happen?
Do I think it's going to happen, or do I want to happen? Because they're 2 different things.
2 different scenarios then. Okay.
I do think they bring back Mason. I know Owen said that we won't be able to match his offer. I think we will. It'll be KP8.
Mm-hmm.
And then just looking at the free agent list, there'll be someone cheap. They'll bring in. See, you might see them try like the Dobbs, but maybe there's like someone like a Blaine Gabbert or someone like that comes in. I'd love to see what Gardner Minshew would do, but he would drive Mike Tomlin to spare. So he's just throws all over the place. But they could. It depends on the draft order right now. Like until we're through the combine and pro days, the quarterback position's all over the place. Like I like Sam Hartman later in the draft, who played at Notre Dame and played at Wake Forest. My preference, if they can get him in the 4th for some reason or trade back in the 3rd, is to get Michael Pratt out of Tulane. But I like Hartman late. I like Milton is another name that's on my list. But the number one thing is that I think they're going to go after Mason and Kenny. And I don't think they're going after Tannehill. I don't think they are. Because everyone talks about how well Tannehill played in Arthur Smith's offense. That doesn't mean that Tannehill was the quarterback that Arthur Smith would ideally have. I
don't know, man. Because, I kind of feel Kenny is in there because he's in the building. I think they've talked about Mason a lot. They'll figure that out. And other teams, I've heard reports that they don't really have too many high interests, but it's only a report from other things, so you never know. Yeah. And then, it's quarterback 3 in the draft, or go and get one of those guys you don't even know their name.
I'll tell you what I don't want. This is going to roll maybe some people up, maybe not. I don't want Michael Penix. I don't think he's going to be that great in the NFL. I don't want Penix. I want to see JJ McCarthy throw different types of be able to make the throws for a different type of offense. But again, I don't want the Steelers using first-round draft pick on JJ McCarthy. So that's out the window, right? Otherwise, I'm pretty much like, there's no other. I don't think there's a quarterback in this draft. I actually don't love any of the quarterbacks in this draft. I think Caleb Williams is overrated. I like the prototype of Drake May. Jaden Daniels could be great, but he needs more size. I just actually don't love any of the quarterbacks. I just don't.
Let's put it this way. Let's
and I think Bo Nix is way overrated. If you don't like Kenny Pickett, you'll hate Bo Nix.
Let's feed into this, right? Let's say that some of these fans get their way and they go and trade for Justin Fields or one of the big quarterbacks, right? How does it then play out in the draft by using your picks and having no picks to fill up the O-line? That would be my question.
That's why I keep saying fix the line first. You have to fix the line first. If you don't fix the line first, you're fucked.
But wouldn't you see the same fans that we got the quarterback now, but let's go fix the line, and then they will complain about the line play because then you've used the resources to get the quarterback?
Well, this is what I said. But this is what I said when I was talking about the Fields piece with Shannon like last week. People all sit there and say, we've got to go get Fields. Why does Fields have a crap time apart from the coaching scheme, which isn't as bad as like what we had this year with Matt Canada? Why does he struggle? Because their O-line ain't great. They've invested so many picks in the O-line the last year or two to try and fix it. They've spent money on guys that haven't worked out. Their O-line's crap. Well, if Fields is running for his life in Chicago, what's he going to do here? Like, Broderick played well for a rookie. He's got to improve still. James Daniels started off the year, the first 6 games. If people go back, people talk about watching the all 22. Go back and watch the tape. He played shite the first 6 games. And there are other quarters in the latter half of the season where at times he went missing. He did. Siamalu, when he was playing next to Dan Moore, had to cover so much of them, and Siamalu was exposed a lot. If you go watch some of the, like Brian Baldwinger picked him out early on in the season, but then said he improved later in the season. JT Sullivan, the QB school guy, he kept saying that he kept picking out Siamalu's number, not knowing his name was Siamalu, sometimes on plays with Kenny Pickett, saying he put him in a compromising position. That was because of Dan Moore a lot of the time, or Cole on the inside, and Cole snapping the ball at his feet. So, like, I don't understand this piece around, like, even bringing in Fields or bringing some other, bloke to come play quarterback or Russell Wilson or any of this, because they're not playing behind the right line. And we've got 2 possibly star running backs behind the right offensive scheme. Get the line, run the football. Kenny Pickett can then go play action. Like, even the Chargers right now are going to go and become what is rumored to be a run-heavy team, and they have Justin Herbert. Like, and Daniel Jeremiah said this really interesting point about a week ago on one of his podcasts. He said, just because you have one of the best quarterbacks in the league, or you have a good quarterback, doesn't mean you don't run the football. You run the football, and then you let the quarterback, when you have to throw the football, throw it and be effective. But this idea that you can't have a good quarterback and be a run-heavy team is ludicrous. So I just think that, like, I completely agree with you. What's the point in getting this quarterback and then letting him get killed? That's the Browns strategy. That's the Browns strategy between 2002
with all that
arguably to now with the 19 or 20 quarterbacks on the list.
I love that. That is so amazing. There's like 20 odd quarterbacks, and now they have Watson. They don't know if he's the guy. They paid him like millions of dollars. I just go back to what Rooney said was there was going to be no big splash play to go and get a quarterback, and this is where you start going the draft again. It may not be like sexy or getting the huge picks out there, but they're not going to get a guy like that. They're going to put trust in the Kenny. If they bring in a Wilson, that means they're pushing Kenny aside. That means they've failed. They don't want to fail. They give him this 3rd year. If he stinks the bed and he's still bad, 4th year we can have a conversation that he might be time to move on, because he's had 3 years. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it this year. Like, and I do want to hear, though, like, if there's quarterback competition and Rudolph's back, sure, give him a chance to play. And then Kenny can sit behind him. And then maybe if he was sitting behind him for 2 years, and then in his 5th year, do we give Kenny a chance and see what happens with Rudolph? But right now, like, just to write him off so easy to bring someone else, another man's problem being Fields, makes no sense to me. Like, with all the fumbles, all that kind of stuff, you've got a quarterback you need to fix. Why would you want to try and fix another one?
That is who also then needs to learn a whole new offense.
Yeah.
But the other thing too, that, like I said when I was talking about Fields, the number one thing that people talk about with Fields right now is how he runs the football, right? So I'm sitting there going, cool. And I know that it's helpful to have a quarterback that can run and have running backs. But like, you look at the division of labor and you look at exactly what you said before. It's what do you give up? And we've got holes. Like I was talking about the show in the show that's coming out this weekend. If you move Deontay on, who by all accounts doesn't fit the Arthur Smith offense, which is regardless of whether people wanted to move on for attitude or whatever, you got 2 to 3 wide receiver spots you have to fill. You can't afford to do that in free agency completely. So you're going to have to hit that in the draft. And the mid-rounds, this is one of the few years that the mid-rounds of the draft, there's not that many good wide receivers. There's really good guys at the top, and there's a whole heap of guys in the 6th and the 7th, and the middle is like people keep talking about that, like Jerry Rice's kid. Yeah, he might turn out to be good in NFL offenses. He's not worth more than a 4. Unless you're just picking a tall bloke that can run fast. And we saw that with Chase Claypool. How'd that go? Pretty shit.
Bad.
He can run routes better than Chase Claypool. I will say that. But my point is that like it's not like other drafts where we've gone and got like Deontay Johnson III. That's not happening this year unless someone falls. So we'll bring up Toddy's question though. To replace Cole, would you go free agent, the draft, or both? What would you do, Mark?
I'd probably say they're going to do both. That's what they kind of normally do sometimes, go and get two things. But something I want to bring up too, right? In the ideas of cutting players. This you talk about DJ Johnson could be an idea, right? They cut Trubisky, they cut Chooks, Presley Harvin, and Cole. They're all starters last year, right? The Steelers ain't messing around. If you ain't pulling weight, you have a chance to be cut this year.
I love it. So I love that attitude.
It's a good sign, isn't it, this year, all right? Cole's cut, started all last year, done. Trubisky started games, done. Presley Harvin punted, done.
Even the Gentry cut last year, that told me a lot. That told me that they don't give a stuff now. It's about performance on the field. It's not about grilling and chilling and
exactly right. It's not about that kind of stuff, right? So
and even the Gunner stuff. Because do you know what was interesting? They flew under the radar. Kenny Pickett rushed to get back with the surgery, and everyone said, but Kenny Pickett's rushed to get back. Wouldn't it be disappointing for him not to start? And Mike Tomlin said, no, that's what we expect because we had a similar player in Gunner who needed similar surgery situation and he didn't go and get the surgery. Like they're being hard ass now. Like it's about, and it's a fantastic point that you bring up. Our Performance Phil Wade show says it as well.
What shows you that no one should be safe unless your name's like TJ or Cam, you know what I mean? Like or Minka. Like no one should be safe because they're going to move on for these players and they can make the team better. And that's what they're doing through the O-line, and that's what they're doing even with Kenny Pickett. That's why I do.
That's what they're doing. Quarterback. Bye Mitch Trubisky. We don't care if we owe you money. Piss off. Like done.
And they gave him enough chances too. Enough chances. Way too many.
This is the thing though, Toddy. It's kind of interesting. Like I think they've got to draft someone. There's some guys later in the draft that actually I'm quite open to. There's a guy we talk about him briefly on Global Perspective. I'm going to do some work on him on the tape. The guy out of Oklahoma, Andrew Rame, is an interesting guy I'm looking at. There's Matt Lee from Miami, who the Steelers have interviewed already anyway. But they could bring in a guy like if Ryan Jensen doesn't retire, then they bring an old guy in like that, then they could draft a guy. I think they want to draft a guy. I like the idea, and Shen and I talk about some scenarios about this a lot in the show that's coming out, but like trading back, because Jackson Powers-Johnson could be drafted in the top 20. There's 3 or 4 teams that need a center, including now the Chargers, because Lindsley's about to retire. So my idea is you trade back in the first to like anywhere between 26 and 32, get an extra second and third round pick or an extra second and an extra fourth, and then you draft Frazier in the first round. Even if that's drafting him high, you get him on at least on the 5th-year deal, right? And then you've got more picks to be able to get quality players at D-line and wide receiver and that sort of stuff. So I think the overall answer is definitely a bit of mix. If I had my ideal world, you sign Connor Williams for 5 or 6 mil, and then you go and draft a guy like Frazier. Even then you can go get Cedric Van Pran, someone like that. But the problem with Connor Williams is he's 27, one of the youngest free agents, one of the best proven performant free agents guys. And he's younger than Cushenberry and stuff like that. So my thing is, they are the same age, but I think he's got more upside. I just don't know whether the Steelers are going to have another like 6 to 8 million to spend on a center, and he's probably arguably the top center free agent right now. So that's my only That's my only thing.
With the Mason Cole stuff, did they cut him today to give him time to go and be respectful, to give him another chance for another team? That kind of stuff?
Well, starting Feb 20 in the league, if you look at the dates they're allowed, that's when they can start negotiating with their current free agents and stuff like that. So
okay.
yes, I think so, but it also allows them to go and work. Like this is when they cut the first 3 guys. I on one of the shows, and I said what about the cuts was like they're working out the money they've got to make the moves they want to make. So when they did that, I said there's obviously a move they particularly want to make, right? So now there's a move I think that they really want to make. This allows them to be able to say, for instance, to Mason Rudolph, we've got the money to pay you this, boom, right? And if I was Mason Rudolph, maybe I sat there and I said, guys, I'm not signing a deal with you if I'm getting balls from Mason Cole. Right? Like if I'm Mason Rudolph, I don't want Mason Cole snapping the ball at my feet. Like Mason Cole in the Ravens game and the Bills game, there are a couple of plays where he almost got Rudolph's head taken.
He got Kenny injured in one of those balls.
Correct.
Too. Like really bad. It was so low and got sacked. It was like, what the F, dude? Yeah, he's from his interviews too. He's a good bloke as well. I thought Mason Cole was a good bloke, but it's it's business. You know what I mean? We follow the Pittsburgh Steelers, not the Pittsburgh.
But he played average. What was interesting is he played average in camp too. Like I remember in camp.
Was there any competition for him though? Really?
There was not really Green, and then they moved him.
Oh, that's right, Green. I forgot about it. But everybody wanted Green gone.
But he played average in camp. I remember there's a video out there. I've got to go find it so I can be like, I got the receipts. But there's a video where I said he's looking. I think maybe it was when I talked with Shan, like when we did a show with Shannon right before season, or you and I talked about it. But I remember saying Mason Cole has looked really average in camp. But and I said like he keeps doing these interviews where he's buttering up to like Kenny Pickett and Trubisky at the same time. I'm like, I feel like he's just on this PR campaign to save his job.
Do you remember? Was it last year when Green was the fullback and the media went? I went crazy for it too. I was like, "This is a pretty cool idea." But do you reckon?
I will say I think it was just me that follows both our channels and whatever. It was either just me. I don't think it was Kathy Freud. It was just me, or whenever it was Jennifer Purcell. But one of the ladies had said that they had seen that in the comments, but a year before it happened. And then it happened. It was kind of funny.
Do you reckon the Steelers do that on purpose to give like the media some bait to maybe not talk about that, not talk about something else? Like just go run a few plays.
No, I think they've been trialing different people in different fullback sort of roles.
So they're not doing that to make a story or to do that. They're doing it for actual football sense. Like
Do you know what I would love to see? I'd love to see some sets in an Arthur Smith offense where Darnell Washington is the fullback.
Well, I mentioned you the other day in one of my videos, dude. Like the bloke's tall as. Just give him the ball, he can stretch over or just fall forward 2 yards, 3 yards.
Yeah, but imagine him coming between a decent center and like Siamalu or James Daniels. You've got him clearing.
Yeah, it's
with
like
Najee Harris behind him.
It's like the Australian Wallabies or the New Zealand All Blacks. It'd be sweet. You know what I mean? Like he needs to. That's what I find funny about the American football game. It never really does that kind of stuff. It never really invents a new wheel, does it? It always just goes with what's happening. It's like, why not give a guy who's 6'7" the ball and push him forward? You know what I mean?
Totally.
They never do things like that.
But I wonder. There's one trend, like the tush push, right? Is kind of a bit like, like a bit similar to some of the rugby plays. There's a thing called a maul in rugby union, where you get the ball and you turn your back. The way you do it, from a perspective, you turn your back and you hold the ball, and everyone sort of forms a bit of a scrum and pushes you through, right? And Shannon said to me the other day, he goes, it's funny with center, they're never going to score a touchdown. And I thought to myself, well, how would you? After they spike the ball, if the quarterback handed it back to them and they've turned their back to the offense, and you literally could bulldoze over the back of it. You never, and the defense is not going to know where the ball is. That's the best thing about a maul in rugby is you don't know where the ball is, right? You can do the same thing in the NFL very easily, and it's allowed. It's effectively a formation on a tush push.
Well, you see it when a running back breaks through the second line after the D line. Then it turns into a bit of a scrum. Then it goes into, I think we scored one TD like that with Najee this year, where Big Siamalu and those guys pushed him over. It was fun to watch. But you never see it from the get-go. You see it from after a run.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy. How you feeling about cornerback? Because a lot of people want to, like Stiller Wade said, I don't want to draft back. I don't want to trade back. And I'm always a fan of trading back. I can talk about that for hours about why I think that's important, particularly at 20, because 20 is a shite space, shite area to draft, particularly in this draft in terms of where things are going to fall. And when you have so many holes, you need more picks. But how are you feeling about cornerback? Because some people are saying, oh, there could be a good cornerback on the board. But I've been seeing rumors like Cooper DeJean, who I think he'd be overdrafted in the first 24 picks, 23 picks. But yeah, how are you feeling? Is that something you think free agency or draft, or how do you want them to address cornerback?
Both, because this move by cutting Cole also tells Levi Wallace, like, oh my goodness, get nervous, mate.
But he's technically a free agent anyway.
Is it? Or then his phone won't go off.
Well, his phone may as well stay off.
No point sitting around your phone going, all right, waiting for it to call, and no one's calling you. I'm sorry, Levi Wallace. He never fit the Steelers' way. Was just off. And so many times, watching the games, you're like, oh, Wallace again? Like, it's getting burnt toast out there. So yeah, they're going to go through probably the free agent, something like that. Maybe sign a guy. I wouldn't see like maybe a big move where Omar Khan makes a real big splash. Last year with Ciamalo, maybe does the same thing with a cornerback and goes, oh wow, he made that move to get this certain player. Is it like Jonathan Ayers, like someone like that? I don't know. Maybe a good quarterback, and then also go to the draft as well. They need guys in the secondary for sure, because JPJ is awesome, but who else do you have that's like young talent? There's no one really that's really young talent. And like you said, Levi Wallace, free agent. Peterson in the 1 year, getting older. They got to try and figure that situation out.
They can't pay him that amount. No way. Like, if he doesn't, he's not going to take less.
No offense, Owen. You were away for like 6 months. No offense. I had you on my show. Still waiting for an invite, boys. I had you on my show. You're welcome to come on. You took a leave. You know what? Probably a good time though, because there was nothing happening. All right.
That's true. That's true. Like, it probably. I think
we had a good chat the other day, man. On.
Oh, I have to go back and listen to it. I've had a wild few weeks. It's been a little bit everywhere. Some of those times. I've got to trust.
Oh, you caught a plane. Tell them how you caught a plane. Like, you caught like 3 planes in one day.
So
that's amazing.
So for those listeners out there that aren't Australian, in America, when you travel a lot, you get obviously your miles, right? And that's how you get the better seats and all that sort of stuff, right? When you fly. Well, in Australia, our airlines have this stupid thing where you have what's called status credits and points. And points are mostly what the miles do in America, except they don't help you upgrade and get things like access to lounges and seats and all of that. And I travel a bit for work. Anyway, in the last year, I've traveled less than what I usually would do. And I have lots of trips coming up. So it's important to me that I can keep some of that status to make the status, because that's what's called, these status credits, to make the whole process a bit easier when I do travel, right? So I looked at my account and I found that I was minus some status credits for the end of, but that would and mine rolls over at the end of every February. And I was a certain amount of credit short, and I was going to drop down to the lower tier. And that affects me particularly for my trip to America coming up in September. So I worked out that I needed to rack up a certain amount of these credits before the end of February, and I had like a week to do it. And it was too expensive to fly within Australia. So I told Marky D this. I flew to New Zealand for the day. I didn't even leave the airport, right? I got off the plane. I walked through the security again, and I walked back into the airport lounge, sat there for 2.5 hours, did work on my laptop, and then got back on a plane and flew back to Australia. But I couldn't get a flight back to Sydney. Sydney to Auckland is 3 hours on a plane, right? It's almost halfway across America, the same trip, right? That's taken me like 5.5 hours when I've done that a couple of times in America. So I had to fly to Melbourne in Australia and then sit there for 2 hours and then fly to Sydney. So I basically got up at 4:30 in the morning and I got home at 11 o'clock at night. So that was a fun day.
Just flew around the world and never actually went to the actual country or got out to see Melbourne and came home.
I've been to Melbourne many times. I've been to Auckland and New Zealand like 4 or 5 times. So,
I would just love to see someone sitting next to you and say, "Hey, bro, why are you going to New Zealand?"
But I got a funny story. I'm in the Melbourne lounge, right? And I've got a Steelers shirt on, not a jersey, a t-shirt. And a guy this old guy does these ones at me from across the side of the lounge. I'm like, what did I do? I'm on the phone. He goes,
in trouble, mate.
In this thick Inzer accent, where'd you get your shirt? And I was like,
Oh yeah.
I was like, hang on one sec. So I was like, what? And he's like, thick Yinzer accent. He goes, and I kid you not, this like actually happened. If he's watching, this would be wild, right? And he goes, I'm like, I got it online. And he goes, so you're a Pittsburgh Steel fan? I'm like, yeah. He goes, oh, it's like, I usually take my terrible towel places. He's like, you know what a terrible towel is? And I'm like, yes, I have like 5 of them. Like, but it was wild. Even on my random transit, I still met another Steelers fan. A guy, like, he was in his 70s, like born and bred Pittsburgher. Like, hilarious.
I'm a bit worried about this one first, though. That kind of freaks me out a bit.
I know. I was like, what did I do? I thought he thought I was a member of the staff or something. I don't know. I don't know. It was a bit of a
And
weird
then
moment.
he's like, where'd you get your shirt? None of your business, mate. Go away.
Yeah, I was like, what?
No, I think it's so funny that you went on what 1, 2, 3 plane trips and never saw the country or the destination. I think it's hilarious. I think it's like you had to get it done. But someone sitting next to you would be like, "Hey, dude, we going like they're going to New Zealand for the first time. They're so happy, so fun." You're like, "Nah, I'm just going to the airport. Then I'm going home."
Well,
like,
you picked it. So the guy I sat next to on the plane on the way, who travels a lot as well, he was like, "So are you going over for work or something?" And I was like, "Nah, I'm just going for the day." He's like, "To Auckland?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just going. I'm doing what's called a status run." He's like, "I've traveled for 30 years. I've never heard of it." Then on my plane ride back, I sat next to this old couple, and they said, "Oh, like you coming back to? Are you from New Zealand or are you from like coming back home to Australia? What is it?" And I said to them, "Well, no, I had to do the status run." And the guy looks at me and goes, yep. I've done a few of those the last few years since the pandemic.
So funny though. Like, how was your holiday in New Zealand? What'd you like about what'd you like about the culture? Nothing. I just went to the airport and came back.
I mean, Auckland's a bit, not to offend any Kiwis, but like when you come from Sydney, Auckland's a bit like, I mean, I've been there. Like if I hadn't been there before, I was going to try. But then I found out there was cricket in New Zealand that night. So I could have gone over to watch Australia and New Zealand cricket. But anyway.
Yeah, I just think it's funny. That's just funny.
Totally. Stupid.
At least you got your hours up, right? Your points up.
Yeah, no, so I'm there. I've hit it. And you know the funny thing? Because I had to fly to Melbourne, I've got too many. I did too many credits. I didn't just hit the bare minimum now.
Wow.
Yeah, it's funny. But Toddy says back to Steelers stuff. He goes, so if you get rid of Wallace, Peterson, Pierre, doesn't that? Yeah, I think it does. But like, remember, there is Trice sitting there. Like, but also those guys. Like, I think they should still bring back Peterson. I'm just saying, cut him, bring him back, or do a void year, or work out a cheaper deal. So spread the hits, something like that. But I'd rather have new people in and try someone else. I'd rather have someone in. I will answer that question, Toddy, but kinda.
I don't know what that is. What is that? What's he talking about?
The caste system.
Caste?
Yeah, you know, like a social hierarchy. It's on a system based on how many credits and how often you fly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right. You know, like Indian caste system in their culture historically. Anyway, back to the cornerback thing. I'd rather them try new people than go with the same people that we know are average. That's my thing.
Well, and look how it is now. Yeah, they're cutting players that were playing bad last year. They want to improve the team. So it wouldn't surprise me what happened. I think Wallace, like, he would be brought back, and Peterson could be a cut because you know what? He's got his podcast with BMAC, and they're doing good things there. Does Peterson really want to finish the last year of his career? Does he just say that's kind of it? Do they have mutual parting ways? They really need to get younger. I love Peterson as a guy, as a player, and he's always time with Cardinals. But at the same time, they need to get younger at that position. They need like youth in the football team. Like Peterson's 35 years of age. So unless you bring him back for a veteran role, but you've got the guy Minka like that too. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I'm kind of okay whatever happens there because he did play better in the last few games in that season. But what's going to happen with is he having one last ride with the Steelers? Are they going to be a Super Bowl contending team next year? You know, he's got a lot on his plate, I think. And I think the Steelers are going to make a certain move at cornerback. Like JPJ's there. Pierre's the team's guy. He's always like the third or fourth cornerback. So can you find someone else to replace him in teams? Although he does a pretty good job being a gunner. And also the other gunner, Miles Boykin, he does a good job too. So teams, I think there's about 4 or 5 guys on teams who are free agents, including Killebrew, Christian 46, and those 2 guys, Boykin and Pierre.
Well, there was like up to 18 guys, exclusive rights free agents or unrestricted free agents, and like 16 of them were unrestricted free agents. So yeah, it's pretty wild. Like in terms of that, but then also if you look at the 2023, if you look at like over the cap right now, if you look at like that people on the 23 team, by the time you look at the free agents and the guys we cut, it's like 22 to 23 players already. Like, but even you talk about cornerbacks. I just saw that, like, I thought they were going to re-sign him, but maybe not. Like, Rock Ya-Sin is available. I would love to see Rock Ya-Sin in a Mike Tomlin defense. Totally. Like,
he was from the Colts, right?
He played at the Raiders for a little while. He might have played. I think
okay.
they drafted him at the Colts. He got drafted at one of them, but yeah, he did play at the other one. But he played at the Ravens this last year. So that could be helpful. It's actually, there's a lot of big names or like previously big names overall in free agency that are available. It's going to be very interesting. But like, sorry,
who are the top 3 players you bring back of our free agents? Because when I look at the list, I'm like, it's not as crazy as last year. Like they can replace all these guys, can't they?
Pretty much.
Like maybe
the only
Rudolph
guy, like people talk about Quan. Like I'd love to see Quan back, but like he's old with a lot of like injuries. I think you've got to bring back. If I'm looking at that list, that's a great question. Well, obviously, it's the top of my list is Christian 46.
No, he'll get a contract for sure.
Miles Killebrew, because if you can block one punt a year, you're worth it, right?
Dude, he's last year was good. He's coming back for sure.
You kind of have to bring back Mason Rudolph. I want them to anyway, right? But then it's kind of before Quan, I'm either looking at Armon Watts or I'm open to Shandon Sullivan. Now, some people are, but I like it'll be disappointing not to have Boykin. I think Boykin will be back, right? The other thing about Sullivan, though, a lot of people don't like him because of his speed. But if you use him in the right context, I don't think he's that bad. And apparently, by all accounts, the Steelers were really happy with what he did this year. So,
but a lot of these guys, though, I feel like you can go and find other players around the league in the NFL, like Marcus Golden.
Oh, totally. None of these guys are absolutely necessary, apart from Rudolph. Like, yeah, you can find all these guys to do all this stuff.
Because I haven't looked at the other list or all the free agents in the NFL. There's so many, but I'm sure there'd be guys that go, "Oh wow, the Steelers got that guy. He's pretty good," and he'll take over Marcus Golden because Herbig's probably 3 now.
I was literally about to ask you about that. Like, I don't think you need to bring back Marcus Golden because you can.
I'm saying it doesn't seem as stressful as like the years previous. Like this year's like we kind of.
And that's the whole thing about having a good draft class. It means you don't have to do certain things. Like, tight end's another one. Like, I think they should be drafting Theo Johnson in the 4th round if he's free, like over a wide receiver.
You don't think they keep Rodney Williams or they're going to cut him because he was like the.
I just think they need someone that can do 50+% of the production of Freiermuth, and I'm not sure that Darnell Washington is a receiving tight end like we all hoped he would be. They don't seem to.
Yeah, I still hope to this day. I dream about it. I think him running down the sidelines just nailing someone would be fantastic.
I found a play in the Madden playbook where if you get him open, he's unstoppable. I use it every now and again. It's meant to be a goal line play, but if you get free of the cornerback, he's unstoppable.
I thought you were going to say like put him at running back and make him run like a wheel route.
I did put him at fullback a bit.
Yeah, but to me, in the free agents, like for our free agents, there's not too many. I think like we miss out on them. It's like, so thanks for your time. See you later. And then we'll get new guys in a big.
I do think Armon Watts. Like, people want to see Montravis Adams back. He's more of a 4-3 DL. I agree with Shannon on that. But I think it'd be a mistake not to bring back Armon Watts because you can bring him vet minimum and his production.
I didn't hear his name last year that much. Maybe that's a good thing.
I was about to say, if you're in the meat of the defensive or offensive line and you don't hear their name very much, that's kind of a good thing.
Yeah, because he was doing all the dirty stuff, right? Getting all the double teams.
It's kind of what they say about like politics. Like, if you don't hear the name of a politician too much, like who's a prime minister or a president, usually means they're having a good time. Like,
that's right.
Meatball Hayward. I reckon too. Yeah, that's his nickname, Meatball.
They will find. I think the new OC Arthur Smith will find ways to use him this year. I think than last year. You look at the offense. The offense last year, like
all I say is I hope so, because when Arthur Smith first came in and I started watching things, I was like, "Ooh, if Arthur Smith doesn't think Connor Haywood fits, there's going to be a problem." But a good thing for Connor Haywood is he's always played well when they played the Falcons, both in 2022 and when
scored his TD there too.
that's my point. And then in preseason, he played there well too. So,
But we're going to see a better offense, I think, from this OC compared to Canada. Like last year, they were scoring 17 points a game. You know what I mean? The yards were terrible. There's no connection. Like there needs to be improvement with the running game. The running game has already been good. Like they just got to improve on other things. And now that they're improving the O-line, I think at least we'll be getting more scoring chances. We feel more like an actual offense when we see the Smith offense.
And I actually think the defense will be better. With the moves, like look at the cuts they're making. I think the defense is going to be better.
I didn't know this, but they were ranked 6 in scoring points allowed. I think it was 6. That's pretty good. I didn't realize like they were doing their best. And then TJ Watt goes out, and we're around the edges of people say, oh, we want us to tank and do these things, but they're around the edges of stuff.
Kelly, I love these.
I tell you what, I've blocked that.
That would genuinely shock me. Mike Tomlin's very careful about that stuff.
No offense, Kelly, but I blocked you on my channel. I can't handle that stuff. I just get rid of you. So you're gone.
Oh, Kelly and I have fun. I just say to her, where's the source? I just say,
I've got no time for it. 0 time. So you be writing comments on my page. I don't see them. So good luck to you.
It actually took me. This might surprise Kelly, because Kelly threw in it was before the Bills game. She threw one in about the Bills. And I was like, you must be a Bills fan. It actually took me 5 or 6 videos worth of comments, Kelly.
So, I've got 0 time for it. One of the guys in the chat today wrote about Mason Cole being cut. I take it as serious. So that was cool. I don't care, Kelly. I legit don't care. I don't read any comments. I don't care who you are. If you're a bloke or a girl, if you're a rabbit, don't care. I read one of your comments of mine. It was a fake rumor. And I thought, I don't need this in my Steelers YouTube life. I'm going to block you. So I did.
I love it.
Sorry. Love all the channel you want. But I'll unblock you if you don't make those comments. I will. I'll unblock you. But I read one. I was like, you said they were trading for someone. I was like, is it real, not real? So I Googled it. Wasn't real. And I was like, fuck you. So I blocked you. You're gone.
I like it. I think it's fun. I don't enjoy it. It's good. It's good. It keeps you on your toes.
No, I will not. It's not fun. No way. I take this seriously. So I think you're more hurt than I am, Kelly. God. I'm just not going to deal with it, man. Because I see the comments you leave on TDU, and I'm like, what's the point? There's 0 point. So I'll talk to you here, but on Steel Oz, you have no chance to speak. There is no freedom of speech over on Steel Oz. None. You're done.
I love it. I love it so much. It's so good. I'm literally crying. Toddy says, "Do you have frogs in?" You get them everywhere, but I don't. I had one jump in my hoodie recently. We're walking along at the park, and it was we're on the gate, and it just jumped off into my hoodie. My mother-in-law is scared as shit of frogs.
Well, why? They're not that bad.
So we're at San Diego Zoo back in 2019, and there's this massive toad, the size of a dinner plate.
Oh,
I took this photo close up, and it's a shit brown color, and I sent it to her. I'm like, here's your next Christmas present. She sent the emojis and the swear words that my mother-in-law sent back. It was great. The ghost.
I'll know who you are. I'll block you again. It's so easy. Now I understand how to block people. It's great. You just never hear them again. And the funny thing is too, when you block them, they comment like they know they're being read, but I never read them because I can't see them. It's a one-way conversation, and I'm not involved.
There we go. Anything else that you wanted to talk about before we wrap it up?
No, I mean, I'm pretty happy with things moving. Like you said, trust the organization, just relax a bit. They're doing things what they're meant to be doing. They cut all the players. Nobody should feel safe right now. The Robinsons, those kind of guys. Peter shouldn't feel that safe. Levi Wallace shouldn't be near his phone because Trubisky's gone. A punter. We have no punter. We have no backup quarterback. Have no center right now.
Brad Wing or Torrey Taylor, or who do you want to bring
I'm sick of hearing about Brad Wing. He's playing XFL. Just go and get some random 24-year-old punter from somewhere else.
Well, Torrey Taylor's free from Iowa.
Yeah, just get someone else. I'd like the Chiefs on the punt gods. What's happening with Townsend? He's a good punter as well. He played.
Well, he's my punter using Madden, but they basically brought in the punt god because they don't think they can afford Townsend. So if they can't afford Townsend, as if the Steelers are going to spend.
Did you see the way he punted though? In the Super Bowl, was pretty good. He punted really well. I know everyone's talking about.
He punts well for me in Madden every other.
That's the user control too. That's you got the good thumbs. No, I'm pretty happy with
That's what she said.
Jesus. You've been taking a bowling, have you? Oh, that's terrible. No, I'm pretty happy with like where the team's going. I think we're freaking out about quarterback. We don't need to be. We don't need to be freaking out quarterback. It hasn't happened yet, and they're making the moves they need to make, right? And how exciting is it bringing OC with all the different receivers and their connections, that kind of things, and the Mike Sullivan gets a different role.
And here's one thing. I want your perspective on this super quick. Everyone wanted Malik Willis. I didn't. Right?
I did too. I see what a wing. Had wings with Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, Mike Tomlin, if he likes you, takes you for steak, not wings, right? But everyone wanted Malik Willis, and he's done nothing.
No, right? He hasn't done anything.
So everyone wants Fields, and everyone wants Russell Wilson.
Mm.
Did you see Cameron? Maybe the Steelers know what they're doing. Is all I'm saying.
Did you see Cameron Hayward's tweet today?
I haven't.
About the 15. Let me read it. The 15 quarterbacks. So Cameron Hayward said today in a tweet, the Couch GMs are out. If they have it their way, I'll retire and we will have 15 different quarterbacks. Man, I gotta love Steeler fans for their passion. Unbelievable, eh? Like we have been linked to 15 quarterbacks. That's what it is. Like it's just insane.
I just don't know. I felt like we were one of the fan bases that, like, and it's a lot of the Pittsburgh, like when I say fans need to relax, I kind of more mean the media. Like some of the Steelers media is like, honestly, they feed this crap. And that's why, like what you said before about this channel and facts and your channel, like there are videos that you and I both can put out that are super clickbaity and we'd have 100%. 5 times the subs. But that, I don't want to put out that. Like I'm not, that's not authentic to me. That's bullshit. Like
if I played the game that way, you'd hate me, but I'd get more views. You
totally.
Would. Maybe people would hate me anyway. I don't really care. But like, you could do certain things of like changing titles and names and like Steelers signed. All this you can do that kind of stuff, but it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Talk about what you know and what you think the team will do. That's it. Yeah,
that's it. That's it.
Joey G, get him, Joey.
We don't need that. But people hated Mason when he was dating all these like famous people. What are they going to be like when Joey brings his porn stars to, you know?
Yeah, he'd be running Southside.
But doesn't he still have the agreement with the brothel in Vegas where he can go there anytime?
Yeah, he loves it, and he's got like a 2-game ban or something for steroids or whatnot.
Oh, so why would we do? So why would we bring in him then?
Only reason you bring him is to back up Kenny Pickett. That's the only reason, to give him like support. And
they're going to bring back Mason. Mason's not going. Mason was one. Mason is getting the Cinderella story. If Mason Rudolph is the starting quarterback for the Steelers this year and takes them to the playoffs,
I'd be happy with that.
And they go on a run. They might not even win the Super Bowl. He'll have a Hallmark movie made out of him. He looks like a Hallmark movie actor anyway. Like
his brother's an actor, isn't he? His brother can play him. That'd be odd.
That would be odd.
I think like if they bring this is the thing, if they bring back Mason or whoever they bring in, and they have competent quarterback play, it's fine. We're good. Yeah, there's so many like that, and they know they do it. Sports Illustrated are known for it. Like, let's not be like people. People fall for it too.
Bleacher Report.
Oh, mate, here's 5 quarterbacks will fit the Steelers system. No, they won't. That's just.
I'm like, my favorite thing every time is they don't fit the salary cap. Like that's the first question. If you read if you watch Chat Sports or Bleacher Report or any of that crap.
Chat Sports in disguise, getting back at me. That's fantastic. Probably. That's funny. That's a good one. Like that.
Yeah. Well, Mikey D, it's been good to chat with you as always.
Yeah, man.
Like, what's your favorite? What's your tip for Steeler fans this week? Right, they've got all this time to eat and make pizzas. If you're at home this weekend, think about what you want to eat. What flavor do you recommend having on your pizza?
Tell you what's a good one. Just a nice, easy, like what I normally go with is just pepperoni. Get a bit of garlic dip. You're good.
Not a bit of oregano? You don't put a bit of oregano?
Oh, you put a bit of oregano on there too if you want to. You mean you're making pizza or you mean you're ordering pizza?
Both. No, it doesn't really matter.
If you were, I'd say, if you make your own, I get like a bit of pepperoni, maybe olive if you like olive.
Oh, I was about to say, I love olives with a bit of pepperoni.
Bit of olives. You don't put it away. Maybe a bit of mushroom. There's the 3 things. That's it. But I don't mind having a bit of garlic dip on the side too for a bit of pizza.
Interesting.
But then sometimes if you're like a bit hungover, You might want to put some like shredded barbecue chicken and a bit of barbecue sauce and then bacon. That's it.
I was going to say, I like barbecue sauce as the base layer with a pepperoni pizza. That's
True.
fun.
That's different. I normally do, I think, the garlic sauce and pepperoni and then give that a whirl. I'm not a big fan of tomato sauce on pizza unless like I'm like Italy or something like that when I have like the real good pizza. Or if I'm like in like, New York and I'm having like a good cheese pizza, then it's like, tomato sauce. But this is another hour.
You got to go earn your pizza. Are you going to play pickleball?
Yeah, man. I've been coaching so much. I've been coaching, playing pickleball. Champion.
Fastest growing sport in Australia, I think, now, too. Not just
It's
America.
Unbelievable. I coach 3 times a week now. It's unreal. Magic mushrooms. Yeah, dude. It's going off.
I love it. It's good. It's good.
That awkward silence then.
I don't know whether you're going to say something else about pizza.
I was waiting.
Are you a Coke or Pepsi with pizza?
Mate, Coke. No way. Pepsi is KFC. Pepsi is KFC. Like, I don't, yeah. How bloody defensive I get then? Jeez, I was a bit rude, wasn't it?
I'm one of those people, though, where people are like, you can't taste the difference. I'm like, I can.
You 100% can.
So, like, even with cheese, I like, if you look at the cheese, I like camembert. I don't like the brie, like the creamy cheeses.
Yeah, but you can taste.
And my wife said to me, all right, cool. We're gonna shut your eyes and I'm gonna give you each one and you can try it. And I picked the flavor straight away. Like,
you can taste like Parmesan and like normal cheddar or whatnot. You can taste difference.
Totally.
Surely.
But Pepsi and Coke, you can taste the difference. I'm on Coke too. That's why it's the only annoying thing when you go to like US sports games is most places only have Pepsi and it sucks.
I don't mind Pepsi, but I would choose Coke over Pepsi like most times.
It's like I have Sprite.
I am never going to leave that down ever. Draft's coming up soon.
Yeah, what are the plans? What are we going to do? We'll have to talk about that. We have to talk about that.
Just get on for 6 hours and have a time. Have a good time. Yeah.
Day one, I'm going to do. I think Philippine's up there. Day one, I'm taking it off. I'll do a post. We're going to get this video out about the draft pick, and then I'll do a post. I'll do a post draft pick show live. That's what I'm going to do.
What was it last year? We hanged on for like how long? We hang on for
ages.
3 hours. 3 hours to find out the last 2 picks.
That's crazy. Yeah, is
that right?
Under Olympics,
the combine. I might be getting Game Pass back to watch that. I'm pretty
I almost did it this week. I almost brought it back, and I hate myself for doing it.
I'm getting excited. I'm getting like keen for it though. Next week you watch them run around, do drills and stuff. It's kind of fun.
I know, but it's just my commitment to not paying days in $1.
They have gotten better. I think. You know what I mean? But I hear what you're saying. You don't want to. Because I'm the same, but I was like, I want to watch them, work out and stuff, and
that's what I want to. And there's apparently a new series that Lance Zierlein's done on each of the draft picks, particularly the O-line guys. I'm like, I kind of want to watch that.
Yeah, because the next week
I found out how good's this. So after a year of bitching and moaning to Kaio for their stupid app on my television, I had an email the other day, and they're like, because you kept watching Kaio, even though you complained and we didn't do anything about it, we told you we'd fix it in 2 weeks. You're getting 10 months of Kaio for free.
Unbelievable. I wish
I'm like, well, it's customer service, man. How good's that? You never hear that anymore.
I'm complaining today over a fake complaint. Like, 100%. I want to watch Manly Seagulls coming up, like for 10 months free.
That was what I complained about. The app didn't work when I watched the Eagles. I'm like, I pay for this to watch the Seagulls, and I'm sick of it.
It's amazing. 10 months free is pretty good.
10 months free is like $150.
But yeah, I reckon next week's kind of like is it the start of the season with the scouting combine kind of back to football?
Because also we start free agency and the tags and all of that sort of stuff. So yeah, the season's kicking off, man. It's happening. And that's why you just got to relax and trust the process.
I might get Game Pass for it because I want to see these players. I want to see the dudes. You remember last year when Broderick Jones threw one of our coaches? In the drill, he's like,
I wonder how Danny Smith's going after his shoulder issue.
Just living life, mate. Danny Smith. Where's his coaching tree? He's doing well.
He's
like a little bit like that's Mike Tomlin under him. Like he's pretty good, like teams coach. Didn't allow 1 TD last year, so yeah, I think he's doing well. He'd be a boy
coaching tree.
Does he even have any assistants? No, he doesn't.
That's why they didn't hire Hyman Ward to be the wide receivers coach, because he doesn't have a coaching tree.
He doesn't have any assistants, does he, Danny Smith? It's just him, isn't it? No one. No, yeah, he doesn't have one. Doesn't need one. That's so good.
What are we
Danny
talking
Smith,
about?
the legend.
Mexican Coke.
Wait a minute. Danny Smith has nobody under him. Just him. He's been there 11. He's been there 11 years. It feels like he's been there 100.
He's got a tobacco tin.
Man, he's good. I like Danny Smith. The fact he took that shot too.
He's redeemed himself. There are a few years of pretty average special teams play. I think he's got the right players in there. I think they went through a period where they didn't really give a crap about special teams players, and I think they fixed that.
We just need to force more fumbles, I think, on those returns, like we used to a few times. It was
but it's harder to do that now because of the rules. Like they don't run it back, man.
That's
like,
true.
They don't. It's like I heard a good thing the other day. You know, Devin Hester made it into the Hall of Fame, and people were like, if he played now, he would never be in the Hall of Fame.
No chance to.
It's not possible. So that's pretty wild.
Oh my goodness. Still can't believe they caught the Mexican wave in Oz. That's so true. Hey!
Yeah. oh yeah, I guess it's a bit culturally inappropriate now.
You can't do that at all.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. Well, with that, we're going to wrap up this week's Steelers Touch Down Under. I'm Matty P with Marky D.
Go Steelers. Here we go.